Right, it's starting to look a bit like a race car now. Got all the bonnet on. It's the fiberglass one, obviously, and the fiberglass Bootlid. Just going to get all these mounted and all the bonnet pins all drilled out and stuff before they get painted. But yeah, a little bit about the fiberglass stuff. It's actually made by a company called England Composites, so they do quite a lot of stuff for the MGF and also the older stuff for the race cars, for the Bs and stuff like that. And they also do a body kit for the TF, which I think is the RPX body kit. So the bonnet, he can either make it as a single skin, or he can do it like factory, so it's got both the inner skin and all the frame. But this one here, because we've got to run the standard front bonnet hinges, I've asked for him to do a half frame, so you can still bolt it onto the factory positionings, but the frame stops halfway up the bonnet. And then this bit here is just double skinned with fiberglass, which just gives it a little bit more strength, but that weighs absolutely nothing. And he weighed it and he's put 4.7 kilos. So we'll get on to weighing the original bonnet and then see what the weight differences are. And this is a Bootlid off their RPX body kit that they developed, or someone else developed, but they make it for them. So it's got the bigger, I've still got to cut all these out. He's measured all these out, so I've just got to cut them out, but I've just laid it on top for the minute just to see how it fits, and it fits, as you can see, really good. So I don't think there's much to do with that one. But with the RPX, they've got obviously the slope and angle here with the vents cut in here, but also it's got the more aggressive ducktail spoiler on it, because obviously we're not running the standard spoiler. So I've opted to go with the RPX one again, just for the standard, or just the extra, hopefully, downforce that bit of extra lip will give me. But this is just a single skin as well. There's no frame inside this. As you can see. So I've just got to, again, mark out how I'm going to pin this. Whether I'm going to put the 2 pins here where the original one was, and then obviously got our spring straps here, or if I'm going to make some kind of mount further in here to accept another set of bonnet pins. I have got numerous sets of bonnet pins. If I can find them. Here they are. So bonnet pins that I got. So yeah, we'll get on to do that. As I say, I've already mounted the bonnet, so we might as well make a start on sorting the bonnet pins out with that one. And as you can see, I've taken the slam panel off where my original ones were. So the plan is to adjust these, you have to have the slam panel off to get to the back of this nut. So the plan is to grind that down and actually weld the nut onto the bottom of the slam panel, so then I don't have to ever take this off again, just to adjust the bonnet pins if needed. So I'll get that all sorted. I'll get these bonnet pins out, I'll get the new ones all sussed out, and then we'll get to welding the nuts and make them a captive nut in that slam panel. Right, I just blobbed a couple of hefty tack welds on these nuts. That'll just hold it in place nicely. So I'm just going to clean up that with a little wire brush and give that a little bit of a paint just to protect it. And you see I've blown through there, so we'll give that a clean as well and see if I can find some paint to cover that up with as well. Right, while I'm waiting for this paint to dry, or some primer to dry on the slam panel in front of the heater, I thought I'd weigh the difference between the bonnet, between the two bonnets. So we know the one that's on there at the minute is 4.7 kilos, because the guy who made it weighed it and put it on there for me, which is nice. So I'm going to have to hold this, but I am literally just holding it, and we're say 11.1 kilos, say 11.1 kilos. So we're over half the weight on the bonnet, which is good. Right, let me put you down. I'll get rid of this bonnet and we'll do the boot lid as well while we're at it. Right, the boot lid is on. It's not touching the floor. I'm not touching it this time. 13.68, so over 13.5 kilos. So we'll take that off. We'll get the fiberglass one. So like I can pick up bloody one finger. No, I am going to have to hold this one in place, I reckon. Oh no, it's doing it on its own. So 3.3 nearly. So what we're saying 10 kilos in weight just on the boot lid. So between the boot lid and the bonnet, we are saving, rough maths, some shit at maths. Just put this back on. There we go. Alright, I thought I'd do some maths. So turn the bloody thing on. Put it somewhere where that's suitable. So the bonnet 11.1. Take away 4.7 equals 6.4. Just write that down. And then 13.68. Take away, what was it? 13.28. 10.4. So take 10.4 plus 6.4. So we're saving nearly 17 kilos on swapping the bonnets and the boot lids for fiberglass ones. Now I could go even lighter with the wings, because I could save 1.5 kilos on each wing, so that's another 3 kilos on the wings. But I don't want to put them on just yet, especially on the front, because I want to take the weight out of the back more than I do the front, because if not, with these, if you know much about MGFs, they suffer terribly with front end lift. So we're trying to keep as much weight as possible at the front and take as much weight as possible at the back. So if I need to, I've still got my old bonnet, I can stick my old bonnet back on if I need a little bit more weight on the front. Hopefully that ain't going to be the case. But yeah, that's how much we're saving with both the bonnet and the boot lid. 16.8 kilos. So I'm now going to continue in sorting the bonnet pins out on the slam panel now my primer's dried. Right, I just managed to find some platinum silver spray can that I had, literally the dregs of it. Just patched that up for now. I could get my father-in-law to paint it actually while I've got the paint gun out, and paint the rest of it. But while that's drying, I've been cutting out the vent holes in the boot lid. So I've already done one, that's just tape there. I've already done one, so I'm now going to get on and do this other side. I'll take you along the journey. So what I'm using here is just a Dremel tool. Haven't used this in, well, since I've had it, so it's pretty much brand new. And I haven't used a Dremel in bloody years, and the technology these things have got nowadays, you know, with how these discs couple on to these quick release things now, it's, yeah, mind blown really. So I'm just going to get some goggles. And start cutting. So I'm just going to change the end of the sanding drum now. What I would have liked to have done is get a small hole saw and cut the corners out, and then cut the straight edges along there, but I haven't got a hole saw big or small enough, and I haven't got a drill bit big enough either for the radius what that is. So this is the other option. Bring your bag out again. I'll take this tape off. I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but we can dress up any loose bits with a bit of 80 grit sandpaper. Just a little bit there I'm going to have to nab off. I want to take masking tape off with gloves. Isn't fun. There you go. So that's the vents all cut. I'm just gonna nab that little bit off there with the drum sander. I think a little bit over this side as well, and I'll probably square this off a little bit as well to match the other side, but I'll do that and then we'll crack on and hopefully get the front slam panel fitted. Right, slam panel's on, pins are on. Another thing we can get rid of now is that bonnet prop. I sort of had it, so I could keep the bonnet up, but I ain't going to be able to do that with this one, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some red grease, stick it on top of the bonnet pins in the middle, and then hopefully put the bonnet down, press on it, and that will leave a mark, or I'll leave a bit of red grease on the the actual bonnet itself to let me know where to drill. Right, so I've got a big glob of red grease on my finger. Literally going to stick it on. Get out of my hands. Hopefully that's now marked where I need to drill. There we go. Couple of globs of red grease on there, so that indicates where I need to now drill. So I'm just going to get the drill set up and then we'll get on to drilling them out. Right, that's my 2 holes. I've drilled these 7mm. The pin measures 6mm, but I might need to open these out a little bit more. So I'm just debating what to do, whether to get the Dremel back out and then just cut at either side of that with the sand and drum, or whether to drill another couple of holes next to it and then use the sand and drum. I'll get the Dremel out anyway. You can see it's all pretty much spot on where it needs to go. And you see the pin just poking through there. Right, that's all nicely through and centred. I did have to drill this out to 9mm so I could attach the smallest drum wheel that I've got. But yeah, that worked quite well. Just gives enough space for when we put the metal catches on. So I'm just going to do this one now, drill that out to 9mm and then burr that out the same as this one over here. Right, so these 2 pins are through. I've just readjusted them so a little bit higher. So I've placed these on here, I've marked them and I've already pre-drilled them. So if this was a metal bonnet, I'd probably just self-tap it straight into it because it's fiberglass. I've got these screws here and I've got these speed nuts that go under the back. So I'll be fitting them to spread the load a little bit more. So I'm just going to get that done and I'll show you the end result. Here we go. It's all done and all sorted. Bonnet pins are on. We will have to take these off the bonnet when the bonnet gets painted. Nice and tight. I've just put some silicone hose as a stop, so an anti-rattle stop basically, so the bonnet's not constantly bouncing up and down. I've taken the bonnet prop off, so that's now in the bin. So yeah, that's the bonnet all done with the catches in place. This one's tight. I might actually just raise that up a little bit just so it's not so tight. This one's absolutely fine. I'll do it with one hand. Yeah, that one's fine. So I might just raise this one up a little bit so it's not so tight. Right, I'll do that and then we'll get on to fitting the boot one. And just like that, the boot lid is done. So you've got the 2 bonnet catches there, and I've opted to put the spring clips back on, which I had to take off my other bonnet, which weren't no issues really. Just saves me having to put extra metal in down here to then put bonnet pins in. So again, just trying to keep the weight down as much as I can. I know we're only talking grams here, but you know, it's every gram counts at this point. It just means I can have some more pies. So yeah, so these things just unclip. You just pull off. and then you can pull the whole boot lid assembly off. Just put that down, I'll show you what I've done underneath. So I've got my bins just going through the body there. Again, a little bit of silicone hose just to stop it rattling around. I've also got some door seal just on that bit there, again just to stop that bit rattling around. It's actually pressed up against there now, so it ain't going to vibrate. I've left this boot seal on because again that just aids with anti-vibration. And I've just put some sticky sided foam where the boot lid rests up against, just to help protect that, and again that will stop it chatting around and protect the boot and the bodywork a little bit better. So that's it really. That is the bonnet and the boot lid all mounted up. I'll show you the underside of this, the fasteners where you have to go through. So there's them little clips. They're a little bit of a nightmare to put on. You sort of have to hold it with a pair of pliers while doing up the screws. But come on. So yeah, I think that will do it for this video. This corner here is a little bit tight getting the pin back in. I'll probably need to either take a little bit of silicone out, a little bit of that silicone hose, or lengthen the pin a bit. But that's on there. As I say, I'll need to remove these metal bits for when it gets painted anyway, because we're not going to paint over them, we're going to make it nice. Just put you down there. And there you go. I'm not going to bother putting mesh in here, what's the point? And I can also get to my bleed nipple here for the clutch, so I don't even take the bonnet off, or the boot lid off. So yeah, I think that'll do it. I think the next task is going to be, obviously I'll just wait for my father-in-law to come and put some paint on it. But at the minute it's really windy because we've got a couple of storms going on over the UK at the minute. So he's decided to stay at home. But when the storm passes, he's going to come over, he's going to do the rear quarters, the boot lid and the bonnet. So I think the next thing is going to be tackling some of this wiring in the dash, getting all that sorted. And I've now got a piece of aluminium plate which I can make my centre console piece out of, so I'll need to put the dash back in to sort all that out. I have made a start on the dash, stripping out any more metalwork, any more vents, or the vents I don't need. I left that driver side screen vent in, and then just gave it a bit of a clean. Well, it looks like it because I've been cutting fiberglass up, but that'll all blow off. So that's ready to go back in basically at dash. So I just need to sort out the wiring, cut out what I don't need, put back in what I do need. I still need to run a wire from the engine to the centre console for the oil pressure and temperature gauges. Still need to strip that door out, and I still need to put the polycarbonate windows in. So yeah, don't know what we're going to do next time, but we'll soon find out, sooner rather than later. Right, that'll do it for today. I'll see you in the next one.